Hey, all, welcome. This is Rico Nasol. I am a leadership coach and consultant. I also do life coaching. I am a father. I am a creative. I'm a leader and I'm a coach. And I wanted to create this video just so you can get a little bit of an idea of who I am and where a lot of the information and expertise comes from. So, again, nice to meet you. I'm older than 40, but I do have 40 years, I like to say, of lived experience. And we'll get a little bit more into that and how my perspective has been crafted and built. I am a seven figure earner. I am a seasoned executive for over 18 years in Fortune 100 companies. And most notably, I spent almost 9 years at Netflix and almost 7 years at Zappos. And that's where I really built, honed, and sharpened my craft. Who I work with are new leaders. So if you've been a leader that has been promoted because you were good at your job, but then never given any leadership training or anything like that, I work with new leaders. Or if you just want to build your leadership skills, seasoned executives. So a lot of the concepts I talk about are not new, but where we fail is in the execution. So seasoned executives that I work with also have a lot of things that they can take away from me and my courses and my coaching. I also work with entrepreneurs. So people who are trying to build a business, trying to build the confidence, and also understand how to lay the foundation for a strong team and organization. And then I myself have a strong creative background. So I built the content and creative program at Zappos, and I also founded and built the Netflix Creative Studio. So some of my specialties are leadership development, imposter syndrome. You'd be surprised how many people I work with who have imposter syndrome. Gallup did a study, and over 70% of people in the workforce deal with imposter syndrome at some point in time in their career. I also deal with business strategy and help build high performance cultures. So who am I? I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a cook, I'm a traveler, youngest of three, and I had a traditional Asian background. So how that comes to life is, yeah, first of all, I'm married. This is my family. We went to Korea for spring break this year, and so wanted to share with you this because we do love to travel. We like going to Mexico. We like going to Asia. Um, South America is on the list. Europe's on the list. My wife and I have been to Europe. My kids haven't. Um, I love to cook. I do 99% of the cooking. It's a passion of mine that I love to do. And those are my beautiful kids. There's Jalen, she's my oldest daughter, and then Caleb, who's my son. And I'm the youngest of three. So what comes with that is, and a traditional Asian household in childhood, is I wasn't expected to do much. And a lot of the concepts I had to that I developed, I had to work through myself. So I had imposter syndrome. I was the baby of the family, so wasn't supposed to be successful. Had the traditional Asian upbringing where you don't rock the boat, you study hard, you keep your head down, and do your thing. So we'll get into a little bit more of how that manifests a little bit later. So a little bit more about me. I am an extroverted introvert. So I learned to be extroverted. I love being social. Because of my leadership roles, I've had teams of up to 160 people in 7 countries around the world, with 300 vendors and partners. So I've had to learn to be extroverted to address teams that big. But really, I'm introverted. I like quiet. Usually, after big presentations, things like that, I need a moment to be by myself to gather my energy back. Again, I'm a seasoned executive, been doing this for a really long time. I'm an innovative imposter. So a lot of the things that I've done along my career, whether it's video descriptions at Zappos, being the first to do that, or creating new video experiences and mobile experiences at Netflix, um, it took me a while to actually understand that I have talent and those things I did. So I am an innovative imposter. I'm a curious coach. So I lead by coaching. I ask questions first. I seek to understand and try to meet people where they are. I bias to action, which is good and bad. And if you're interested in understanding those things, I can definitely relate. And I'm a creative at heart. I love anything having to do with creativity. So I was video editing with two VCRs when I was a kid growing up. And I turned that into a pretty lucrative corporate career, to where I am today. Now I look at myself as my creativity was coming through in terms of assets before, whether it's design or video. Now my creativity comes through people, helping people create the futures that they want. So some of my achievements, I spoke to some of this earlier. I was the founding leader for the Zappos content creative team. When I started there in 2004, I was employee number 40. When I left, we had almost 3,000 employees, and that first year also, I think we made about $1 million in gross sales. When I left, we had 1.2 billion in gross sales. So I saw a lot of growth there, and I was there for about 7 years, and I built a team of four all the way up to 165. And then I am the founding leader for the Netflix Creative Studio. I started there in 2012 and I left in 2021. So I was there about 9 years. Uh, when I started, it was a team of one, and we tried to move from license aggregator into original streaming content provider. So as I was running tests, we had to build the team to create those winning test assets. So it was a team of me, and I built it to over 135 employees globally in 7 countries around the world with 300 vendors located in different strategic positions across the world. And then finally, um, in 2021, I kicked off my leadership coaching and consulting practice, where brought me here to you today. So with that comes courses, one-on-one, group coaching, masterminds, etc. So a little bit about more me. I am the youngest of three in a typical American Filipino family. Um, we weren't the richest, but we also weren't the poorest. We're, middle class, and we valued family and community. We spent a lot of time together camping, traveling, hosting. Like our house was the center of the social sphere. Much like my house now is the center of the social sphere. I think I take a lot of that from my parents. And we love hosting, and a lot of that upbringing bringing is who I am today. And it's because of my family. It was amazing growing up, but it has had its longer lasting effects on me. And as with most Asian families, the things that got instilled in me were hard work, go to school, get good grades, keep your head down, don't rock the boat, get a good job and keep it, be responsible. All these things that are good in Asian values that help us be successful, but it also helps us when we get older. I was also bullied as a kid, which hurt my confidence. And like I mentioned earlier, being the youngest, I was the last to do everything. I was the last to graduate, last to move out, last to be successful, and maybe even not expected to be as successful as I was. Um, and these amazing values that we had growing up, they became a crutch for me as I became an adult and a professional. So I had to work through these. It contributed to my imposter syndrome, my inability to speak up in meetings, all things that I've worked through and are in my courses and in my coaching, but they did have long lasting effects. So, some of the things that impacted my leadership earlier in life before I um, joined the workforce where I love sports and I love music. And the things that it taught me were like these things here: leadership, taught me. I was the drum major, so the number one band geek in my high school. I was also on the special winning attitude team, which is the SWAT team when I was growing up in martial arts, had my black belt. And I also played quarterback. So these things taught me leadership, discipline, teamwork, how to take action. And my musical background also taught me creativity, self control, also selflessness. No one is above the team. I would do everything I can to make sure everyone around me could be successful. Taught me delegation because one person can't do everything. It also taught me how to take risks and also how to make logical, common sense decisions. So, this background in sports and music was huge for me because it started to lay the foundations for how to be a strong leader. And a little bit about my education. I'm from San Jose, California, in the Bay Area. Whoop, whoop. I went to school at Independence High School. That's where I was in the marching band. I played baseball. I took AP classes. I loved science and math. And this is where I mentioned I was video editing with two VCRs. That was when my passion really started to develop. And I was doing music since I was like 7 years old. My mom forced me to do music, but it eventually became a love of mine. I went to Deanza because I was undecided, like most college kids. I thought I was going to do music. Then I saw how much music teachers made, and I rethought that. Wanted to do physical therapy, um, but I didn't know if I wanted to do physical therapy or it's because everyone around me is like, "Hey, get into the medical field, be a nurse, be a doctor, whatever." And then I thought about doing computer science because that's what everyone else was doing. So I took a management information class and a coding class, and I hated it. And then I decided to think about what I like doing. And I liked DJing, I liked music, I liked hosting, liked all those things. So I wanted to go to school for public relations and be the next Bill Graham and throw events. So then I went to Sacramento State University. I got my bachelor's in communication studies. Classes I took there were journalism, public relations. I was still a DJ all through. It helped me pay for um, like my living expenses, things like that. I was also a student assistant, so I worked on campus for the program marketing team. I was a concert promoter, and I still kept the video editing. So all these things, if you put these things together, now makes sense for the career I had at hand. Um, at Zappos, again, I was employee number 40 back in 2004. We were content creators before Instagram, before TikTok, before Facebook. Even I think when I started there, maybe Friendster or MySpace was the thing that was going on. Um, but yeah, started 1 million in sales there. When I left, 1.2 billion. The things we developed there while I was there were multi-view, video descriptions, and Zappos Insights. So a lot of content creation. We were doing how-to videos, all kinds of stuff. We're on the cutting edge of video and SEO and creativity there in my time at Zappos. I left in 2010, and yeah, the programs are still going strong. They're still there, even though Amazon acquired Zappos. So a lot of the foundations that we laid back in 2004 are still there. And then Netflix Creative Studio. So again, this was me preparing for the promotion of originals. Some of the things I did while I was there was image testing. You'll see here a short game. So Netflix has a very rigorous image testing explore exploit program, video promotions, mobile stories. So again, it was a team of just me, and I built it up to 135 full-time employees in 7 countries, and then vendors all over the place. I had 11 directors and managers that reported to me, and I had an annual budget of $150 million. So a lot of these things, the same concepts that I use in all my coaching and all my courses and all that is what I use to build my leadership teams at Zappos and Netflix and refine those practices over time. Folks I coach, I experienced working with all types of people. So whether it's Google, Zappos, OutSchool, Netflix, Telemundo, um, the list goes on. I have ran programs and I've coached folks from these places. And I had a lot of amazing mentors and coaches along the way. So part of my goal is to pay it all forward. And if I could help all these other leaders in life with the lessons that I've learned and help make learning faster and things like that, I am definitely going to do that. And I truly believe in mentorship. I am a mentor and I have been mentored. And these are just some of the mentors I've had along the way. They've had some of the biggest impacts on my life and helped shape my leadership and the way I do things. So, Tony, um, the late Tony Shea, he was the founder. No, wasn't the founder, sorry, CEO. Nick Swimmer was the founder of Zappos. Um, but he was CEO. He taught me a lot about selflessness, and a lot of the foundational things come from Tony, actually. Todd Yellen, he's one who brought me into Netflix back in 2012. Chris Jaffe, uh, he's now chief designer at YouTube. He was the PM I worked with on a lot of the tests. Rochelle King, I reported to her for 3 years, and she opened me up. She unlocked a lot of the things uh, about the Asian upbringing, being quiet, hard work, keep your heads down. One of the things she said to me is, if you have something to say it. If you don't. So she actually unlocked a lot of the things in me, and she was probably one of the greatest mentors that I've had. Steve Johnson, also great mentor. He showed me how to build inclusive environments and also how to think about design in different ways. He used so many great analogies that I think I got my analogy chops from talking with him. And then Stu Berman, who is actually my coach now. I've learned a lot through Stu, a lot of mindset, how I've been able to transition my life from stage to stage and gain the confidence I need to do what I do now. So, great mentors. If you don't have one, get some. So that's me. And if you're ready for you and your teams to be more confident, if you're ready to say goodbye to imposter syndrome, you want your teams to be more engaged and will lead to more productivity, you'll be able to articulate a strong and inspiring mission and vision. And definitely, I'll help you build that winning culture, and I can help you and your teams get there. So, these courses, my coaching, all the things will add more tools to your tool belt and help you take more action, make more revenue, hit your income goals, and build the confidence that you want and be the leader you were born to be. And I'll talk about that more in the course. I do believe leaders are born, not made, but it's how you channel your strengths that make the difference. All right. Thanks, all. Take care. See you in the next one.